Will AI avatars transform content development? That's today's LearnGeek Big Question. Hi, I'm JD from LearnGeek and Axonify. I tackle one big question from the L&D community every week on my LearnGeek YouTube channel. Today...
Wait. You're not JD from LearnGeek and Axonify. I am the real JD from LearnGeek and Axonify, and I tackle one big question from the... Hold your horses, you two. Neither of you is the real JD. I'm JD from LearnGeek and Axonify, and I can prove it. See, watch this. I can turn my head while continuing to talk. Clearly not the fake person here. Where did you two come from anyway?
I was generated with Synthesia.
And I was built by HeyGen and 11 Labs. You see, my friends here are examples of the latest trend in digital content creation. Synthetic humans, or avatars. And avatars are everywhere. They're all over my social feed. They're getting added to popular authoring tools. They're even starting to appear in job descriptions as nice-to-have content development skills. And avatars are another part of the frenzied world of AI hype. So does the tech live up to the hype in this case? Is the ability to conjure fake people helping content developers tell better stories and deliver more impactful training? Or is it just really cool technology looking for a purpose? A solution in search of a problem? Well, yes and no. You see, I don't have a simple answer for this question. I do know one thing for sure. Avatars will be part of your content development toolkit. They're quickly moving from, wow, that's cool, to, oh, everyone can do that. And today there's a pretty lengthy list of specialty vendors that are offering these kinds of tools. But pretty soon, a lot of these platforms are going to consolidate and become part of the fully featured authoring software that we use to produce content every day. Now, avatars may be new, but we've seen this story before. You remember when whiteboard animations were like the thing in video creation? Do you ever want to see a whiteboard animation ever again? Me neither. So is that where avatars are headed? Are we going to look back on this period and think, what were we even doing? Or will avatars play a significant role in media production moving forward? Now, my answer is a super non-committal. It depends. Because the value of this or any new tool can really only be determined by the people using it and their creativity. And that's what I'd like to see more of as this tech rapidly advances. New and creative ways to leverage this super interesting but super fraught technology. It's still early, but the tech has gotten much better very fast, even over just the past year. And there's no question about it. We will be able to produce photorealistic fake people with minimal effort and limited expense really soon. But in the words of dinosaur daddy Ian Malcolm, just because we can doesn't mean we should. After all, we've been debating the value of talking head content for years. I'm a talking head right now, and it's about to get a lot easier to generate this format of content to which people already have mixed reactions. So how can the ability to add editable people to content make a meaningful difference and help people do their jobs better? Let's consider a few potential use cases, along with a few things you need to think about before you dive into this part of the AI ecosystem. Let's start by talking about demos. We've all been part of a sales pitch or training program where a person shares their screen to walk through a software system. In most cases, you end up staring at a mouse moving around a screen while a disembodied voice narrates their actions. Modern capture tools now allow you to record your webcam so you can appear on screen as you present. I like this capability because it fosters a more human connection, even if I'm watching a recording. In this case, we're taking a tour of my LearnGeek app. By the way, did you even notice that I switched to the fake me about 30 seconds ago? An avatar offers a few advantages in this situation. First, if I'm not comfortable presenting on camera, or I usually need repeated takes to get my script right, I can let the avatar do the work for me and save lots of time. Plus, if my product team decides to make a change to the app, I don't have to set up for a new recording. I can just update my avatar's script, generate a new video in a few minutes, and then capture a new screen recording. Okay, Let's bring the real JD back. Thanks, AI JD. Now, I've been using avatars in my content production for about a year and a half. I actually produced an episode of my talk show In the Know where I interviewed a synthetic person about AI back in March 2023. And you can check out the entire episode via the link in the description. And by the way, the hardest part I find of creating a fake person is definitely matching the face with the voice. Because as people, we just kind of know what other people should sound like. And when the voice doesn't match the person, it can get really distracting. And I'm going to show you an example of that in just a minute. But lately, my favorite use case for avatars, especially my personal avatar, is translation. I have the chance to present for audiences around the world, and I want to show my respect for the people who take the time to attend my sessions, and I wish I could engage with them in their preferred language. But I can only speak English. And I could try to learn a few key phrases to use during my presentation, but I'm worried that I'm going to make a mistake no matter how hard I try. Now, I use AI to live caption the presentations online and in person, and that's a great option, but I think I can do better. So I've started to deploy my avatar as part of my international sessions. For example, I recently delivered a keynote for an HR event in South Korea, and my avatar opened the session with a Korean greeting for the audience. Here's a quick clip. Thank you for your time and attention today. It is an honor for JD to have this opportunity to visit South Korea and speak with you. JD를 이 행사에 초대해 주신 인재개발협회와 패스트 캠퍼스에 정말 감사드립니다. 정말. JD는 지난 25년 디즈니, 카플란, AMC, 엑소니파이와 같은 회사에서 AI JD got a standing ovation. Then I took over and presented in English while AI was generating captions in Korean. And I also use my avatar to deliver other types of brief messages. Sometimes it's part of an event promotion, or sometimes I have this pre-show that I run during my sessions, and sometimes my avatar will pop up and maybe tell you how to submit questions for the session or where to download my slides. And you can always tell that the avatar isn't the real me. But that's intentional. People should know when AI is being used to deliver a message, even if it's super realistic. It's not perfect, but I found enough value from this technology so far to make it a regular part of my production toolkit. I still have plenty of questions about how we're going to properly leverage avatar tech moving forward. For example, we need to talk about regulation to make sure that every person owns and controls their likeness. And platforms need to put controls in place, so it's really difficult to abuse this technology because they can literally put words into other people's mouths without permission. But we also need to consider the audience, how people perceive messages delivered by avatars. When it comes to your typical training content, employees usually don't know who developed the course or who's providing the voiceover narration. It's the message that's really important. But then there are times when we choose to put a person on screen or identify who is doing the narration for this online course. And usually we do that to get a credibility boost. It's that person that has experience in the subject. The audience knows who they are. So putting them front and center leverages the respect and the trust that they have from the audience. Now here's an example of what I'm talking about. This is actually the first avatar I ever generated. And yeah, it's purposefully ridiculous.
What gamification allows us to do is take the elements from games and integrate them into instruction. This integration provides opportunities for rich engagement, motivated learners, and making learning not only tolerable, but actually fun.
So do you believe British AI Santa Claus? Is gamification an effective strategy because he says so? In this case, the fake person doesn't add any value to the message. They're a very clear, very ridiculous distraction. Here's the clip from the original video from which I pulled Santa's script.
What gamification allows us to do is take the elements from games and integrate them into instruction. This integration provides opportunities for rich engagement, motivated learners, and making learning not only tolerable, but actually fun.
Same message, different messenger, different value. Because Karl Kopp literally wrote the book on this subject. He's done the work and earned the trust to deliver this message. But what if the avatar wasn't British AI Santa Claus? What if it was the CEO of your company? Now, recently, I watched a series of videos from a conference that featured CEOs from various retailers, and they were all highly experienced, highly reputable, and influential people. And they were all reading their messages that were clearly written for them by PR or communication teams. Some of them were okay at speaking on camera. Some of them were less than okay. And I know what that's like. I've done my share of executive video production. It takes forever to get everyone scheduled, and then you need to hire a production team so you can get the level of quality that the corporate team expects. And then you just have to end up reshooting something anyway because the executive doesn't like the way they pronounced one particular word. Now, what if we just used the executive's avatar instead? We'd use the same script that PR wrote for them. We wouldn't need to make anyone's schedules work. We could generate as many takes as needed just to get it right. And plus, we can have the message delivered in dozens of languages and offer a more equitable communication experience for our employees. Now, we haven't even reached peak avatar quality yet, but we can do this today using the same tools I use to create my avatar. But what would the audience think? Would your employees care that it wasn't the real person delivering the message? Would they value the content and the fact that it's in their preferred language more than the time and effort required to do it for real? Or would it come across as lazy, inauthentic, uncaring because the real person didn't make the effort themselves, no matter how good the AI is? That's just one of the big questions we need to answer before we can truly determine the value AI avatars will provide within our organizations. AI creation tools are going to help us generate more content faster and cheaper. But they're also going to impact people up and down the production supply chain as AI takes on tasks that previously required specialty skills and specific equipment. Now, hopefully, we do our homework, we listen to feedback, and we answer all of these important questions so we make the right decisions regarding how we apply this and other AI tools. And then we can enable creative people to do creative things that help people solve meaningful problems in their everyday work. And that is my big question for this week. If you have a question of any size you'd like me to explore, be sure to connect with me on LinkedIn or contact me via my website at learngeek.co. Until next time, thank you for everything you do. Let me know how I can help, and be well.